very grateful to all the media fraternity here that have actually spent the time to be a part of this press conference, which is very important. My name is Tohovi Achumi. I am now the General Secretary, IPR and Media. Before proceeding to our press conference, I would like to first of all introduce my colleague to all of you. On my right is Mr. Atoka Awomi. He is now the National Vice President of National People's Youth Front, NPYF, headquartered at Delhi. Our Dr. Andrea Ahoto Sema, he is our President, NPP Nagaland. Mr. Lima Longkumar, he is the General Secretary Organization. Mr. Ricky Ozukam, he is the General Secretary Political. The reason why we actually invited all of you is to brief on our recent tour to Oting, which we all know that the very unfortunate event took place at a place called Uting, between Uting and Tiru. Before going any further, we as a team actually decided to go on a spot verification, and also not only that, we also went there to offer our condolences to the bereaved families, and also show our brotherhood to our brothers there in Oting village, and also the in some part of the Mon districts where unfortunate incident took place, and also where some of the victims were laid to rest. When our team actually reached Nagaland gate at Tizit, our team was stopped. We were not allowed to enter the gate, for which we are very, very not happy. And I feel that our team shouldn't have stopped, because we are obviously a political organization, but we did not go there for any political agendas. We went there purely on humanitarian ground, and also to do some spot verification, because unfortunately our Union Home Minister made a very wrong comment on the incident. So we thought we should go and do some spot verification. Upon reaching Oting village, we actually had a gathering with the village Angs, Deputy Ang, and also the entire village leaders. And we actually had a very small function with the village elders, after which we actually proceeded towards the graveyard, where 12 of the victims in Oting village were put to rest. We paid our homage and our respect to them, and we also made sure that we actually told them that the party will definitely fight for the right of the victims, and also to see that the problem is taken in a priority basis, and see that the problems that the Mon district is facing and our connect brothers are facing are addressed. I will now give time to our president to make his points. We definitely have a lot of points, and we also have list of demands to be made to the government, for which we'll come later on. But first of all, I would request our president to make his clear point, after which our political General Secretary Mr. Ricky Ozukam will take over, and after that our brother Mr. Atoka, who is the Vice President of National Vice President NPYF, and after which our General Secretary organization will also have some say.
Yeah. Well, first of all, a very good afternoon to one and all. To the press fraternity, those who have come here and to jot down the necessary requisite that we have to place for you. I'm first of all sorry, my throat is not too good because of the traveling, and the dust has been very heavily polluted in that road, so till now I'm having a setback. Anyway, I'm very happy that you've come here. Well, we all need to understand the truth, and the fact finding is still going on by the SIT. We know and we have heard what we need to know. but still many seem to be buried and suppressed. Upon arrival of the Oting and the Mon district, we were stopped actually, and we were stopped literally by the government. I would say that upon fact finding, it was precisely told by us that we asked them who has ordered. Then they said it's the government who has told precisely the party should not be allowed to enter. Then when we were in the gate, there were numerous vehicles being plying up and down, and that also not in a single file, but it was in enormous group that they were plying up and down both ways. And there was a very narrow bridge over there, and the gate was there. So the situation was not very conducive, I would say, that time, because our party members also had come, and we had categorically told that we are not here for any political motives, but we are here just to meet the bereaved family and to give our condolence from the party side. So after a lot of talk and discussion, then they literally, then afterwards, even the press had come there, then saying the situation was not very good and the situation going to be very volatile. Then they said, okay, you are able to go and you will be allowed to go. So that's how we got the permission to go. But then I would say that we went because we had a tough argument, so we were probably let go. But what about the other parties, those who are not allowed to go? So this is being very biased, And being biased, I would say that why was the other party like NDPP, RPP or the BJP were allowed to go? And why were the reporters of others also were allowed to go, but there were certain reporters which was not allowed to go? So categorically they have at least probably handpicked a few who should go and who should not go. So this is not good in a democratic country. We are not in authoritarian city. We are not in a dictatorial city or in the state. So I feel that we, being in a democratic country, we need to know the facts and we need to allow everybody to move to and fro. And being within Nagaland, I think nobody can be able to stop the Nagas from entering within a Nagan territory unless there is a very volatile situation and not conducive. So this is what went wrong. But anyway, after all that hiccup that we had, we were allowed to finally enter, and we went and visited the site and everything. So upon hearing all that we could hear, it was found out that everything was staged. The army has staged everything, If it was a mistaken identity, fine. Then if it was a mistaken identity, why were they carrying all the old, camouflage clothes to be put onto the dead people? Why were the dead people rolled in a probably poly bag and hidden in the back of the truck? And the first party left early, second party was caught by the villagers upon hearing so much gunshots and their family not coming home. So this was, I believe, all staged because they were keeping all the old clothes, camouflage clothes, and some of the guns and ammunitions and also some of the material, like to make sure that those deceased people will be the clothes will be put on with the camouflage and put some guns across them and say that they were killed in an encounter. So which is very common in the Northeast, So such are the things that which is not very good. So we feel that army should not promote themselves. Probably they were doing that to get elevated from their rank, or they wanted to literally have this peace talk sabotaged. Okay, so they want to actually the peace talk which is going on, they want to derail it. So probably could be that also. So there could be many things that the army could have been trying to do it. So we feel that this is not a good step, and the massacre which was done, it was not human. It was a blunder that they have made. So we feel that there has to be an action taken, and there has to be a very strong action against all these perpetrators, and condolence obviously to the bereaved family that we do have in mind. And I would say that the press media should also play a very vital role in this. And I would like to mention too, you're not being biased obviously, but I would like you to be very non-biased and try to stick ground and try to help the people which is right and wrong. And as far as possible from our side, we also feel that the condemning of the probably the state administrative and the district administrative, this has to be condemned, because if they had intervened, had the DC and the SP intervened on time, this wouldn't have taken place. And even the villagers told us They did not come on time, and they came at the fag end when everything had been over. So they should not have taken this matter in a very, very a small, like a iota kind of a matter they should have taken. And this is a matter which was very serious. So many people have been massacred, but why did the district administrative take it very cool and calm? So this is also something went wrong. So henceforth, I feel that the press media should also support this, and AFSPA should be removed, not only in Nagaland, but the entire Northeast, and justice should be given to the people. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You want to take this?
I would
Mari?
also like to add a few things here. Most importantly, the controversial act, the Armed Forces Special Power Act. This act is not new to us. This act has been here in Northeast, especially in Assam, Nagaland, Manipur, and some parts of Arunachal Pradesh, and of course in Jammu and Kashmir. Of course it's different, it's Jammu and Kashmir Act, Armed Forces Power Act. The point that I'm trying to make is, I don't want to repeat the history in the Northeast, but everybody knows it. The security forces has been misusing this Armed Forces Special Power Act. Under this act, the security forces have committed thousands and thousands of extrajudicial killings in Northeast. They have burned down hundreds and hundreds of villages. They have used this act to commit sexual crime against a woman in Northeast, which has been gone unnoticed to the rest of the world. Many PILs have been filed against this act, and there are many commissions that have recommended the government of India to repeal this act. But still, the government of India turns a blind eye, and the killing continues to today. And it will go on unless and until this act is removed, repealed. Just to keep you in mind, as mentioned, many PILs were filed against this act, and the Supreme Court has given many rulings and many recommendations to the government of India. For example, on 8th of July 2016, the Supreme Court has given a ruling that anybody, be it a personal, army personnel, or of any rank, will not have the immunity under this act for unjustified killings. Unjustified killings are killings of innocent civilians, killing of innocent people, using this power to commit sexual crimes. This is the ruling of the Supreme Court. So, whichever personnel were involved in this crime should be tried in a civilian court, and we demand that this act, under this act, no court martial will be done, because for many, even for the CBI inquiries or many other demands, the court martials were ordered. But till today, not a single court martial paper has been out in the public domain saying that so and so officers are prosecuted or taken action against them. So not a single has been there in the public domain. Not a single officers or the Jawans committed crime under the AFSPA are prosecuted, but in fact they are protected. As mentioned, we condemn the statement given by the central government, because the statement given by the central government is misleading. It sounds more like a attempt to shield the culprits. It sounds like this so-called this paratroopers of Indian Army has purposely come to do a fake encounter. If not so, why did they bring all those old army uniforms, ammunitions, and other materials? And why were they stripped off their clothes? So this is a clear proof that their intention was to have or create a fake encounter and implicate the innocent people as a militant for their own benefit. And therefore, we want that these people, these militants, the Jawans, the army officers who are involved should be prosecuted as per the guidelines, as per the ruling given by the Supreme Court as an ordinary criminal. And we want justice to be as early as possible. Thank you.
Acha, I don't know why these things have been aggressive till now, as of now. But we as an NPP, as I have mentioned earlier in Oting village also, I have given a word over there. We as an NPP, we are going to give all efforts to pursue this matter, to give justice to the victims. And I also want to request all the civil societies, students' bodies, civil organizations. It is not, I shouldn't be saying it's a request. Rather, we should be taking up this step. And we should be fighting together right now as one. Not only in Nagaland, the whole of the Northeast. We cannot be victimized always. So, as we NPP, when we want to take these efforts, my request is that come up together, be as one family of a Northeast. Today is Nagaland, tomorrow might be something else. And we cannot always be victimized right now. And to inform you all, we as NPP, we will be holding a stage dharna or protest in the state. And also we will be submitting a memorandum to the government of India to reveal this AFSPA. Okay.
My colleagues have explained everything, what went wrong. Let me not repeat. I would say that how many black days will the Nagas observe? History has been repeating over and over again, and I would say that enough is enough. Now, since we have already known what really went wrong, NPP as a political party, we have made certain demands, and let me just go to the point one by one. NPP state would like to demand that all the Jawans involved in the massacre be given capital punishment, and we want the human rights organization, like to name few, like NPMHR, to take this matter seriously, to bring justice to the people of Nagas. We demand they should be tried as any criminal in the civilian court. The central government should also sanction their prosecution immediately. And the next point is suspension of DC and SP for their negligence, which has happened just a couple of days back. And last but not the least, NPP demand the repeal of AFSPA. So these are the few demands which, as a political party, National People's Party, are very serious and like my colleagues have already mentioned, till the end, we will stand for the people of Nagas, and I would like to, like I said, appeal all the civil societies, different NGOs, to come forward and be a part of it. Thank you.
Yes, to conclude with, as our General Secretary Organization has stated, Nagas will no longer observe Black Day any longer because we have had lot of incidents. There are many villages in Nagaland linked with horrifying stories in the hands of Indian armies. In 1955, at Yampang village under Chang region, the Indian army surrounded the village and killed every man of the village who were above the age of 12, including a newly married man and a newly appointed pastor. In Mathakari village in Pocheri area region, in 6 September 1961, the Sikh regiment killed every man above the age of 11, including the village headman. And now, voting incident took place. We as National People's Party will very closely monitor the progress of the investigation, and any attempts to suppress investigation by any sources will not be tolerated. And this is a very strong warning to the SIT recently formed, that the NPP will be closely monitoring every effort, every steps they take, so that justice is delivered and a copy of action taken against the culprits should be provided to all the victims' families, so that they know that action has already been initiated and taken, so that they will also be at peace, and those that have been killed will also go in peace. Thank you so much, and I want to thank all the media fraternity once again for giving us time, coming, and for being in this press meet. And we hope to brief you with another press meet very soon. Thank you.
I just want to add one more. Can I conclude one thing before the question? Okay, carry on.
Yeah, we'll take questions.
Yeah, we can take questions.
Achha, you are now demanding the suspension of the SP and the DC.
Yes.
Right.
So according to you, as per the information you have gathered,
Yeah.
to what extent were they liable? To what extent were they was there the dereliction of duty as to demand their suspension? I mean, how long did it take for the police to react to the situation? As per the information gathered by you.
See, you all must already have the information, but there was sequence of events that took place. The first one, no doubt, it was beyond anybody's control. They were cold-bloodedly, without any warning, they were shot and killed. Not even a second to jump or try to flee. Now, after it happened around 4:30 in the evening, and the second firing took place almost after 3 hours, 3.5 hours, where the innocent citizen, the citizens of Oting village went looking for their fellow villagers. Now, in between the time, there was a gap of almost 3.5 hours. Instead, the villagers were warned not to go and proceed to the scene
By the police?
by the administrations and the police, as per the information given to us by the villagers. Now, having said that, ignoring the administrations and police orders, the villagers proceeded towards the scene. And when they reached, the bodies were not there, the truck or the mini truck was there. They were taking them to the camp, definitely. See, if the villagers would not have intervened, they would have taken them, dressed them up in camouflage clothes, put them some arms, and they would have been implicated as a militant or mistaken to be militant because they were wearing a camouflage or they were carrying arms, which is a regular practice of the Indian Army. But it is because of the villagers, they sacrificed their life to get their brethren out of the army, and that's where the things went wrong. Have the police have been there on time to interfere, the administrators have been there on time, those lives would have been saved. So this is one of the reason. And after that, another incident happened in Mon. The next day, the administration should have taken extra precautions, knowing that the severity of the incident, the case, but all were, I think, downplayed by the administration. So we felt that, more lives could have been saved if the administration have taken things at the right time. And on the, just for your understanding, we said that we demand that the central government gives the prosecution of the, of the Jawans who were involved. See, even though they were guilty, to prosecute the culprits, the central government needs to, under the AFSPA, they needs to grant a permission, the central government needs to grant a permission, then only they can be court-martialed or tried in the civilian court. So unless and until the central government sanctions their prosecution, nothing can be done against them. It will be the same old story. They will say that we will do a court-martial, but I can guarantee you that till today, there is not a proper court-martial documents or report that has been given to the public. So I also ask for the request the media fraternity to follow up on this, that the demand for sanctioning for prosecution of this army Jawans should be given by the central government, because unless and until they give the sanction, they cannot be prosecuted as per the AFSPA.
Any more questions?
One more.
Yeah.
It's about the SIT. It's rather common for governments to set up special investigation teams in the institute inquiry commissions. Right? We have seen it. The question though is, the reports hardly go public. The government hardly makes public of the report of such inquiries. So if at all the inquiry is completed in the stipulated 1 month period or it extends, and still the government keeps it under wraps, it doesn't make it public, what would the NPP as a party do?
Okay, as a party, as we have said, we will closely monitor the case, which means if anybody tries to, twist this case, because this case is in public domain now. In case if, the dead bodies were taken away and they were camouflaged and, as our security personnel used to do, but in this case, they did not get time to act like that. And so this crime is in a public domain. And so the state government or any investigating agency should not try to cover up this incident, because this incident is in public, and if anything goes wrong, if the the report is not as fair as the incident and the evidences being gathered, we as a political party will definitely question the government. We will even go to the extent of sitting dhanas in the state and make sure that our demand, the demand of the public, it is not a political party's demand. It is a demand of the public. It is a cry of a public to give, a justice to the victims, because Nagas have had enough. And today, we as a political party would say, enough is enough. We have to repeal AFSPA, and any twist to the investigation will not be tolerated, and we will definitely go to the extent of dhanas and strikes, anything that the state government is willing to listen. Will go to the extent of making them listen and act.
Any other point you have?
So I'd just like to know, do you have any hypothesis like why you were not able, why you were stopped from entering the village
Yeah.
while other political parties were allowed to go? So do you have any hypothesis of what the government might be thinking about your arrival or any other arrival that the government don't want?
See, the reality is that the government does not want the facts to come out, and they want to hush up everything. It should be for the government, not against the government, whatever come out from there, because it was a tragic incident. In fact, I want to tell you in the last, like, any political party henceforth, from now onwards, should not give any color or a political hue when such tragic strikes or such incidents happen. We should be allowed to go, irrespective of any party, Everybody should, we are free, democratic country. We should be allowed to go and sit, investigate, or find out the fact finding and everything. Why give a political hue? For the advantage or for many reasons so. So I feel that this was purely a political move where they want to take the upper hand, maybe for the good or for the bad, I do not know. But many things was trying to be covered up. So this is what I feel, that they were trying, something very suspicious was there. So this is why they didn't want us to go.
Yeah, any more questions?
Or anyway, triangle or four quadrant, whatever, when we are trying to make peace between you and me, okay, we say let us make peace, because Nagaland now is in peaceful state, okay, everybody has come to ceasefire, now we're in peace order. How can, when the peace is there, somebody is still pointing a gun in your forehead and say yes, we agree to the peace? So AFSPA is like that. AFSPA is still holding a gun in our forehead and saying we have made a peace. So this is not good, And the Assam Rifle, the very statement, Friends of the Hill, I don't think so they are, doing it right. So this has to also be rethought about it or rephrased about things, which we are seeing right now. So this is what the officer should be expelled totally, because they are holding the guns against our head and they are saying we are in ceasefire.
What was the negotiating point that you were allowed to enter?
We were allowed to enter probably after 20 minutes of very good intensive argument that we had, and probably they did let us go because they had no other alternative, because we stood our ground, and we said if anybody is to be stopped, we're going to stop the entire transport over there. We said we're going to sit there, we're not letting anybody going through and fro. If at all you're going to stop, you stop everybody. If not, we will also be there. We blocked our car from there, we didn't let it go, because we have every right. Because it was not in a total band as such situation. So people were going to and fro, buses were plying, trucks were plying, everybody was plying, So we said that if you do not allow us, number one, we'll bring this in the media. Number two, we're going to stop entire, we are going to close down the entire, the border. That's what we said that, yeah.
Just to add to what the President has mentioned, when the administration and the police came to meet us, they said that they have an order,
Categorically, yeah.
category order. So I said, if there is an order, show it to us, we will obey the order.
Yeah.
I said, like, the order, if it's a telephonic order, it's not an order, it's a political
Yeah.
order. If there is a written government order, you show it to us that it is from the Chief Secretary. If you show it to us, we will honor the order. But when we asked them to produce the order, they failed to give us an order, which means it was politically trying to stop us from entering and meeting the victims. So this is the hypothetical conclusion that we can.
Any questions?
Yeah.
So, do you feel that if the central government fails to repeal AFSPA as per the demands of the Nagas
Yeah.
and the state government as well, do you feel that the alliance should be, the ruling government should break the alliance with the BJP?
See, that depends solely on them. But there will be repercussion in 2023, because the public will have a second thought to vote for any people who are against the people of are son of the soils. I would say for Naga or Nagaland people, right? So I think they'll have a second thought. So anybody right now in the chair should think very seriously and should not make this as an advantage to them, but make it for the human right? We are appealing that AFSA should be out for everybody. When we are saying the peace process is going on, what is AFSA there for? AFSA is not in it actually, If there was no peace, no negotiation taking place, no frame agreement or whatever agreement that is being taking place, I mean, that's a different issue. But everything is coming to pipeline right now. Even the center is agreeing, even state is agreeing. Then why AFSA to be here? So this is something very serious about thing, Is it there to protect them? Sometimes I feel, even in because they want to be protected as a MLA minister, they want to be more into some other alternate kind of a thing, right? So probably it could be that.
I just want to put a question across to you.
Yeah.
So I think you are interacting with the government more than us.
Yeah.
So have you ever seen whether from any of the coalition partners coming strongly against this act?
Yeah, act, yeah.
Or strongly condemning the
Such.
the incident, or
Yeah.
questioning the statement made by the
Home Minister.
Home Minister and the central government. So you decide, why they are silent.
Yeah.
See, as soon as the Union Home Minister gave a statement in the Parliament, the state government should have
React.
been very quick to react. But it took them time. It took them time to react. Maybe I don't know why. What made them react very late? But those comments are to be condemned, and they should have reacted very quickly. And as we had been saying, AFSA's in place. I think the peace negotiation has no meaning. If peace negotiation has to further take place, I think AFSA have to be repealed. Not only from Nagaland, but it has to be repealed from the entire northeastern region.